Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, May the 31st. Today is Memorial Day. Um, it is actually here in Georgia, my family's first full day of summer. The kids got out of school last week, but of course, we had a bunch of ripping and running around to do for everybody, and I had class over the weekend. So today is the first day that I actually got to sleep in. And then look, I got to sleep in and I'm still up early. Like, why? I don't know. Um, but anyways, I just thought that I would jump on here for a moment. I'm sorry, y'all. I had lashes on and I'm noticing that I did not get all of the adhesive off my eyes, so I got to go clean my eyes again. That's one of the things about wearing them dang blasted lashes that I don't like. Is that sometimes the adhesive doesn't come off completely like you would like for it to. But in any case, back to why I jumped on here. I just wanted to come on here because number one, it's been a while since I've been on here. I have had other obligations going on in my life, and I have totally neglected my YouTube page. And I'm so sorry to my 5 subscribers that I haven't uploaded any content. Sorry, y'all. Like the one day that I decide to come out here early in the morning and every muscle car in the neighborhood wants to drive down my street, there's normally nobody out here during this time. But in any case, really, the street is only like 2 feet long and you got to do all of that to go from one end to the next. Anyways, I just wanted to come on here because I know that it's been a while since I had spoken to you guys or updated you guys about my daughter's health. Some of you I have talked to one on one, but I know that when I announced to everyone a year and a half ago that she was ill, there were lots of people that I'm not in direct contact with who were asking me, "How's your daughter? How's your daughter?" So I thought I'd just come on here and give you guys some updates. I'm really sorry I haven't been on before now, but like I said, things have been kind of busy in our house because I do it all. I'm doing the cooking, the cleaning, the taxi cab, the doctor's appointments, the school, I do it all. So sister be busy. But in any case, um, Shantaeana is doing extremely well. God has been very good in blessing her. I know I posted a couple of pictures, so you guys have been able to see her, but she is actually doing very well. They have taken her off all of except 2 of her medications that she still has to take, and honestly, it's only like 1 pill during the week and then a pill and a liquid medicine on the weekends. So considering that this is May, so she's actually only um a year and 2 months post transplant, and she's almost off all of her medicines completely. So God is a healer. To God be the glory. He is so good. Um, we are now getting ready to go into the phase where they try to allow her new blood cells to actually work for her. Like right now, we're in the process where her blood cells are acclimating to her body because everybody is born with their own blood cells. No two people have the same blood cells. So when you take blood cells from one person and try to put them in another person, one or two things will happen most of the time. Either the body will react against the blood cells or the blood cells will react against the body. Um, but they have medications in place that tries to keep this from happening. When it's successful, then the person starts to actually produce the donor blood cells as their own blood cells in their bone marrow, inside their bones, like, as if you were born with that particular blood type. So right now, she has completely converted, and she is no longer the blood type that she had when she was born. God is so good. She is now testing with her donor blood cells. So when they draw her blood, they don't see B positive anymore. They see O positive. And so that is a very good indication that her body has now accepted the blood cells. The blood cells are not fighting against her, and that they have kind of been like, okay, this seems like a cool place to hang out. Let's move in and set up shop. So that's where we are right now. She, unfortunately, children who have to go through chemo and have bone marrow transplants also have to be immunized again. It's not a all in one process, so you know, y'all don't panic. It's a very slow process. But just like when we had our babies and we had to take our babies in at certain times to get certain shots, that's what she has to do. Of course, at her particular age, there are probably certain immunizations that she won't necessarily have to have, um, but there are some that she will have to have. And at that point, we will then be able to see if her blood cells will be able to respond to the immunizations the way that it should be. For example, when we get a flu shot, the flu shot doesn't keep us from getting the flu, but if we get the flu, our immune system is strong enough to fight it off. Well, that's what has to be determined with her, her body now, is whether or not her body will, her blood cells, her white blood cells in particular, is strong enough to fight off germs, the bad ones, because you know we got good germs too, but the bad ones. So, yeah, that's where we are. But things are going good. I trust God, even if I don't trust medicine, I don't trust science. Above and beyond, I trust God to take care of her. He knows what's going on inside her body. He created her. He gave her to me when I asked for her. And so I know He's going to take care of her. I don't know what her life is supposed to be, but I know that it's something special. Um, and it's something meaningful to the kingdom of God, because I don't believe that He just saved her just because. He saved her because she has a purpose, just like everybody else in the world. And I'm really eager to see how she grows and develops and what she becomes. She's so sweet and loving that sometimes it's even amazing to myself. And I have to ask God what I did to deserve such a child. My other two kids are pretty great too, but she is like, her heart is just completely, like, it's unexplainable. Like, I can't even explain it to you. Considering everything that she has been through, she is still just as humble and sweet and innocent as the day she was born. And I'm trying to soak up every single second of it for as long as I possibly can. Um, for example, we have some trees that got cut down near our subdivision. As a matter of fact, they cutting down trees all over the place because they're expanding where we live at. The city is growing, unfortunately. So now we got to deal with extra traffic and more people because they keep popping up these little subdivisions everywhere. So now our subdivisions have had to deal with uh, rodents because they've cut the trees down. So the rodents don't have anywhere to live. We didn't cut down their habitat. So now we sporadically get these little field mice, you know, the little tiny ones that pop up every now and again. Well, when we had, I think it was like four of them that came in all together in the beginning. And at first, we did, of course, we didn't know they was there because we don't ever see them. They wait, you know, until late at night when it's dark to try and come out. And it was so funny because we I figured out that we had one because I started to see, you know, little droppings along the baseboard. And the kitchen, well, in the kitchen. And so we later had it inspected and found out that there is actually a small gap around one of the pipelines that runs in the kitchen. So that's how they were able to get in the house. So, of course, I don't like rat traps at all because I gotta dispose of that. I can't, the way my stomach is set up, I can't do that. So I use a sticky trap. It was so funny because one night I was in the kitchen cleaning up the kitchen, and I had the sticky trap down and I had peanut butter on the sticky trap. And Bree was like, "Mom, well, what's gonna happen to the mouse?" I said, "There's nothing gonna happen to it." I said, "It's gonna go on the sticky trap, and then when he gets stuck to the sticky trap, I'm gonna throw him in the trash." She's like, "Well, why we can't just let him go outside in the front?" I was like, "What?" She was actually afraid of it when she first saw him running along the baseboard. She was about to knock everything in the house down trying to get out the kitchen. But she still didn't want nothing bad to happen to the little mouse. And she was so serious, y'all. I mean, she was so serious. She was like, "Well, why we can't just, let him, go back outside in the front?" I was like, "Because that mouse will beat us to the back door before we get back in the house. That's why." So I thought that was just so cute, though, that she was running from the little mouse in the house, but she still didn't want to hurt the little mouse. And she's the same way with um, what they call it, the sugar ants. Every now and again, the subdivision that we live in is notorious for sugar ants. As a matter of fact, it's I think sugar ants is like something that's prone to Georgia. Period. No matter where you are. So sporadically, in between pest control services, you'll see one or two pop up here and there, whatever. And she will not kill it. She's like, "Well, why we can't just put him outside?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this little girl right here." So she has just got, like, the best heart of a 7-year old. It is amazing. So, but in any case, I just, wanted to share with you guys about what's going on with her and our journey together. Um, she's doing so well. God is so good, and He has used this journey and this experience to open up my heart, my spirit. Um, Today, I don't know why this Memorial Day is different for me than it has been in the past. And as a former Marine daughter and a Marine wife, that's a little sad to admit. But I don't think that a lot of us actually take the time to stop and consider what Memorial Day really, really means. A lot of times, um, we as people just get caught up in the commercialization, the capitalizing off of it. On TV, you see Memorial Day sale and all this, that, and the third. But I think when you have a very close brush with death, or you have an experience that allows you to value life in a different way, you can't help but to be affected, because today is a reminder that so many men and women have sacrificed themselves, some willingly, to keep our country in the state that it is. And of course, there's a lot of other things going on. We understand that there's racism in our country, that there's social injustice in our country, that there's bigotry in our country. We are not perfect people. Sorry, y'all, that was a bug. We are not perfect people, and we don't live in a perfect world. But our perfect world, our America, is still better than some. And the fact that people constantly give their lives to protect it is something to be remembered, you know, something to be remembered. I think in watching my daughter almost wither away and then fight her way back, of course, with the grace of God, I just have a newfound appreciation for life, for humanity, for people's lives. And, you know, you have to just think back the numerous people who have given their lives at the attempt of keeping us free, at the idea of a more perfect union. That is something to sit in. And anybody who has served in the military, um, they know, especially if they fought alongside someone who didn't come back home with them. Today really does mean something other than grills and fireworks. It's a time to remember and reflect. I'm very grateful to be able to say that I was never presented with a flag, for either my father or my husband or my brother, or my cousins or, anyone in my immediate family. But I know quite a few people who have. And it wasn't fun in just trying to support them. So I can imagine how it may feel just to be the one having to endure that. I have a really close friend who I will never forget for as long as I live. Um, and every year, she never bats an eye at, making sure that we don't forget. And she's always been there for some of us who was there with her on Camp Pendleton once upon a time, you know, and in a lot of ways, people like her and her husband and her son, they did a lot even here at home, not just in the war. They did a lot here at home to take care of us. I remember those days. I have not forgotten Mama Karen. I will never forget what your family did for my family. How you tried to uplift us, how you tried to pour into us, and you still do, even across the miles. Even though some of us are separated from one another, you still do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll never be able to say thank you enough, but I thank you anyways. So I'm going to sit here a little bit longer with my coffee and enjoy the quiet until Bluey cartoons come on and game controllers start clicking and microwave starts humming. And just remember and be thankful and grateful to God for the ones who have come before me, just so that I could have this moment of peace and quiet. All right, y'all. I love you. Take care of each other. See you next time.